Hello, thank you for joining me again for another video. And today we are once again talking Nebius stock. For those that don't know me, my name is Howard and I'm a retail investor just like you. I've been investing for over 10 years and this channel is about documenting my investment research, my investment decisions, and also tracking that live in a YouTube portfolio that I've just recently started. So let's jump right into today's video and we'll start off by looking at Nebius stock itself. So if you have a look at the stock, we really have kind of found a base around this kind of $90, $100 mark. Last week, we did actually peak up to just about touching $110. This week, we've gone down a little bit again with the data center names do tend to move together with this kind of whole AI trade that we've got going on at the moment. We finished the week at $94.50. So at this level, I'm fairly happy sitting here. I've mentioned before that I've bought this in the YouTube portfolio. I think I've bought a small bit in that YouTube portfolio. My average is about $100. If we see it stay around this range, I'm fairly happy there. If it drops, I'm going to buy more heavily inside the YouTube portfolio. And as I mentioned before, I do have this as a main core position in my other investment portfolio as well. So what we're talking about today is capacity, and that is essentially the backbone of everything that Nebius does. It is an AI cloud platform. It rents out GPUs and it also enables people to use those GPUs with their software. So what we're going to do, we're going to look now into, okay, what have they got at the moment? And then we're going to go and look into the news of what's actually coming for Nebius and what their most important projects are at the moment that they're building. So you can see here, this is basically going through ChatGPT and asking it what data centers we've got running at the moment, small, large, and also ones that are current partnerships as well. You can see we have quite a lot scattered around Europe. Now, this is actually quite good for computing inside Europe. There are a lot of laws inside Europe about privacy, and also they want to keep quite a lot of their stuff sovereign. So it is good kind of competitive advantage that we've got these areas scattered around Europe. And of course, it is a European company is where it's kind of based. So that is why we have those. So that's good to see. We do also have our Vineland USA. That's up to 300 megawatts. I believe they're just about to announce that might be starting soon. Hopefully, we haven't had anything official on that yet, but you would like to hope that at some level that might be starting soon. And then we've got Kansas City co-location, because we do have a new Kansas City one that is in progress, or that's going to start this year, hopefully, which is what we're going to talk about later. UK has just recently kicked off. They've announced that. And then we've also got Israel as well. So Israel, they started last year, and they have also signed a new agreement recently to expand that. So let's jump into what main concept of today's video, which is their new Kansas City plant. So this is an 800 megawatt data center plant, and this is built by Nebius. It's going to be their own wholly owned campus, and it's going to be the biggest one to date. This is a huge project. It hasn't officially been announced yet, I don't think, in terms of from Nebius, but there have been kind of news about them buying land, signing different contracts, and there have been rumors, although I still think we're waiting for Nebius to officially talk about this plan and what their thoughts are. But essentially, this piece we've got here, this was released last week, and it's talking about what they're doing. So it's got a 400-acre plot, closed loop cooling system, and also they're securing their power for this as well. I thought it was quite interesting as well. Requires at least 800 megawatts. So they're actually kind of, they're partnering with Independence Power Partners at the retired Blue Valley power plant site, and they're going to basically be building a new power plant just for this actual data center because it's that big. So it is a huge project they're putting together at this new data center that they're going to be wholly running, and then the power to go with it as well. And they're saying in this that capacity would be completed by December 2029. From my research on this, we're hoping that this will start to be built this year at some point, and it will first be operational in around 2028. So here we go, yeah. The first phase of the campus could launch in 2028. So what they can do with these data centers, they can actually launch in parts. It doesn't have to wait until it's been finished. So hopefully that's when it will start to become operational. And the reason this is so important is because we know that Nebius have already announced that they have sold out of all their capacity. So when we're talking about the big Microsoft deals and the Meta deals, that is what they've got their New Jersey plant in production for. That is basically already sold for those big hyperscaler deals like Microsoft. And they're just trying to get more compute as quickly as possible, which is why that previous chart I run through, they're also partnering with people so they can have data centers come online much quicker, because they've got the customers there that need to use it. Not just these hyperscalers, but all of their other customers that need to use their AI compute are growing as well. So they're happy to partner with other people as long as it means they can get these data centers online as quickly as possible. So this is something that's going to be quite exciting this year, is the announcement of this plan, this data center, and talking about it, because it's a huge amount of capacity that they'll have coming online. And it really is big for the overall Nebius story. It's a huge data center, their biggest. It's wholly owned by them, built from scratch, and it's in the USA as well, which is where the majority of all this data usage or the AI computing is needed. Next, we're going to move on to this. So I mentioned we're talking about they also partner. So if we share this here as well. So this has been released. I mean, we spoke about this at the start of January. So it's basically an update on their existing Israel deal. So they launched an Israel data center last year, I believe. It's not a huge one, but they basically partnered to launch this data center as quickly as possible. They have also now announced there's an $880 million increase in this. So they've actually partnered with the same company again to lease 80 megawatts across 2 new sites. So they're expanding their footprint in Israel with these partnerships. And this means basically, although it's not their own built from scratch, we know that takes a lot of time. This means that they have the customers waiting, they can sign these deals, put all this money up front, and then they can just start serving these customers much more quickly. So it's great to see that on the side of them building their own ones, they are actually also just trying to get any excess capacity they can do to serve all of their customers. That's going to be crucial for them growing as quickly as possible. We know this year, 2026, they are targeting 7 to 9 billion ARR by the end of the year. So that's what they want their run rate to be by the end of the year. And so they're going to need as much capacity as possible. And doing little partnerships like this is extremely important. So if we go back to this slide here. So I think what's also worth talking about with Nebius and what they're doing with all this computing power, because I think one of the strong investment theses about Nebius is that it's not just renting out GPUs like some of the competitors doing, like IREN are doing, or that CoreWeave are doing. They actually allow people to run their models with their software. It's an AI computing platform. So rather than just managing all the data centers and letting people use them, it also allows businesses all different sizes to actually manage and run their own AI models in there. So you log into the platform and run your own models. And so that means they're just creating more value. They take up more of the value chain. And we're talking about being a huge AI powered or AI first AWS or something like that in the future, an AI first cloud computing. And we know how big that market is. We know it makes huge amounts of money for Amazon. Google's in it. Microsoft were late to the party and they went absolutely crazy on it. And now it's a big part of their business as well. Meta has also announced Meta Compute. They're starting to play around with at the moment because they also want to do this, be an AI first cloud platform using NVIDIA GPUs. So it's a huge market, and it certainly looks like NVIDIA they are AI first. This is all they've ever done. They're really trying to grow and take up this market. And it does mean that when you're talking it from an investment standpoint, the upside is absolutely huge if they can continue executing. And when we're talking about these data centers that they've got right here, executing basically means having as much capacity as possible and then allowing their customers to use that capacity if they provide a great service. And also if we presume that the AI industry is going to grow, which I think many people think that it is, and me as a Nebius investor, I think it is as well, the need for this AI first compute is only going to increase over time. So that's kind of what we're looking at and why these are very crucial. When we're looking into the next earnings date, so the Q4 announcement should be very important for this year. They're going to announce, we already know their ARR guidance. They might give us some official actual revenue guidance for this year as well and what they're targeting. We'll also get an update on how much capacity they think they're having, and also probably some updates on what their planning on doing in terms of capacity? What's this Kansas City site going to be like? And do they have any other plans? It'll also be good to see what their margins are like. They are growing so quickly, so we want to make sure their margins still stay in check. I know some criticisms of some other data centers have been they're signing these huge deals, but they're basically just renting out data centers and making a very tiny margin on top of it. So we want to make sure that Nebius is providing a lot of value, and their margins stay nice and high so they can scale, but also make profit as well and be an overall great investment for us. So that's it for today's video. I thought it was useful to go through this because the capacity is so important for the Nebius story moving forward. Please do let me know your thoughts if you're a Nebius investor as well. What are your thoughts on the capacity at the moment and this new plant? Have you done any research on this? And also what you're looking ahead for 2026 in terms of the most exciting things you're looking forward to for the business. So thank you for joining me in this video, and I'll be back very soon with another Nebius update.